Okay, now that the mast is pulled, it's time to get to cutting this mast step out. The first thing we got to do is remove the mast shoe from the old, like, destroyed mast step, and I'll show you guys what that's all about. And we will say that there was no coin under the mast, right? And we're gonna see if it's under the shoe, but I'm having my doubts. Okay, so this mast shoe was held down with lags, maybe 3-inch lags, 1/2-inch tops. Let's see if it breaks. Oh yeah, see, it's just lifting. Can you see, Tim? You wanna watch this?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So,
no coin.
Oh.
There you go. So for the superstitious out there, that's why the mast step crushed. There's no coin.
That's why.
That's nice, man. It's in good shape.
It is. It is.
Okay, now my favorite part is cutting fiberglass. Okay, so I got the first cut done on the port side, most of it, but I could reach. I want to show you guys the impression that the mast shoe left on this mast step. So you can see this is a ridge right here where it's sunken. It's sunk in. There is a cross beam under here like this that you'll see once we get everything cut out. But this is like a crazy 1/8 of an inch depression. And then this all sunk as well. But this is just straight, like someone took a die and put it in there. It's crazy.
Because look at this slot was full.
Oh yeah, look at that. So Tim just cleaned this up. This is the drainage slot and it was full of gunk. Okay, so day 2 of the mast step cut out. I had to send Tim for some big artillery. So we're gonna try to cut the step out. I'm gonna try to cut close to that center support and try to cut a big chunk out, because with the cabin sole in the way, it's very difficult to cut at an angle along the hull to get, you know, the lower parts of this mast step cut out. Because it's very thick. It's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches thick. I'm going to show you guys again this close-up of this impression that was made. It's crazy. So you can see where there's a hole there, the impression, cracking, you know. And then here's our exploratory cuts from yesterday. And now we're gonna cut right around here. Now we're gonna cut like a line here and here, whatever we can reach, and try to remove that, and then use multi-tools to get, you know, the rest of that, and then we'll move on to the starboard side. So, time to get noisy and dirty. First chunk out. You know what I think I'm gonna do, because I honestly believe that the intrusion happened at the lag bolts. I think that the water sat in the mast.
Yeah.
And slowly made its way through those lag bolts, because you can see the lag. It's just lagged into wood.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do, I pulled measurements.
Yep.
We're gonna over drill where we think those holes are gonna be.
Gotcha.
And fill it
with epoxy, and then fucking drive them.
And then when we tap it.
Brilliant. Okay.
And I'm talking hole saw. You know what I mean?
Oh.
We're gonna do a giant area.
I've got a hole saw somewhere. Okay.
There it is. We could add supports on the side if you want to fill, but it looks perfectly fine to me. You know?
Okay, should we clean it up and look for it?
Yeah, we will for sure.
Or drill a hole in it to verify.
And
then since we're doing epoxy anyways, right?
Yeah, we can easily drill a big hole.
Yep, and
look at
a small hole and verify. I mean, any hole.
Yeah, and then we just seal it back up. And we can
wet or dry?
Yep, because that'll tell us. But we might not have. I mean, that thing looks perfect.
It actually does. Wow.
You know, there's no deformation in the shape at all.
So you think that all that deflection was in the fucking 3 inches of wood?
Oh yeah.
All of it.
Oh yeah. It just turned into mud.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the sides of it.
It's just that's impressive how much deflection came out of that, right?
Well, you can see that any of the wood broke down and then pushed out to these sides, and that's why it sunk. Yeah. I'm stoked on how little we're gonna have to clean up this shit though. That shit just popped right off. Everything on my boat was so heavily tabbed in that it's like,
yeah,
it's fucking gnarl.
Yeah.
So, great news for us.
Yeah.
It's looking good. You can see what we're up to, and it looks like we're gonna drill some holes in the center beam and see if there's any moisture in there. It doesn't look like it's been compromised at all, which saves us a shitload of work. It also keeps us from having to get into the original construction any more than we had to. Awesome news. I thought this could take like all day. What time is it, Tim?
10:07.
It's 10:07 a.m. I think this took me, it'd take me 20 minutes to cut this thing out.
Yeah.
Because we had the Sawzall. There's no way we could have done this with the Sawzall. Yeah. So, super stoked. Now it's time to get our ducks in a row and figure out how to move forward. I'm going to clean up those edges on the hole. That's where we're going to be tabbing in our new shelf. And we can start, you know, pulling measurements and shaping wood today for our new step. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay, so getting ready to cut out the new mast step out of marine ply. And then we're going to encapsulate everything in epoxy. I'll show you our measurements. These are cut lines. These are going to be side reinforcements we do on the lower step. It's going to be 2 1/4 inches thick of just wood, and then another 1/4 inch of fiberglass on the top, bottom, sides, everywhere. I'll show you what we did in here. We got it cleaned up, a little bit of sanding to do. We're gonna have to sand all the paint off so that when we get a tab in, the epoxy meets the epoxy and there's no paint. We drilled exploratory holes in our step to make sure that there was no moisture in there, and it's totally dry. It smells like sawdust. Everything we pulled out of there was dry. So we're gonna refill those. We're gonna put extra the little side braces on for giggles. Level it off with thickened epoxy and put glass over to like seal it all together. The center beam didn't deform. It doesn't seem like there was any penetration of water into it at all. And to risk like us getting into like, you know, where the ballast is and everything and the keel, we're gonna let it be because it's fine. We're gonna reinforce it so that Tim doesn't even have to think about it. But I honestly don't even think it's necessary, but you know, this is the time to like double it up, you know? So I've gone ahead and pulled the width of the top board, and then we're going to screw that whole business together and figure out our hole angle from our pieces we took off, and try to get that piece cut and see if we can dry fit her into place, and then we can start the epoxy and glass work on our step. And while that's kicking off, I can go ahead and sand the bits, the paint off, so that we're ready on the to tab it in. So time to get to cutting this thing out. Finishing the cuts on this mast step. Here we go. There she is. We got her cut out. Now we got to see if we can squeeze her in the little fucking pocket to dry fit her, and then we start impregnating her. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what our new mast step looks like. There it is. Here she is. She fits perfect. She sits down on our crossbeam. It's perfect. So we're going to take it back out. We're going to round off the hard edges. And then we're going to start coating her with epoxy resin. West Systems. And hopefully by the end of the goal is to get 2 coats of epoxy resin on her, and then at least 1 coat of glass today. It's like 3 p.m. right now. So, but we're doing it we're setting up an epoxy station like in the boat, so I'll be able to do it even after dark. And while that's kicking off, we also made extra supports for the center. I'll also do those. And then I'm gonna sand away the old bilge paint so that we have something for the new tabs to grab a hold of. So that's where we're at. Ye old epoxy station. Got everything poly wrapped. Protect the boat. And we have our first layer of epoxy resin on all the visible sides. In an hour, we're going to flip them over, do the other side. I want to get 2 full coats on tonight before we go to bed. And then finish the process tomorrow. Keep going.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps us a lot.
Thanks again to all of our patrons. Your contributions help us get the boat ready for big things.
Until next time.